Hi everyone, it's Diane with Boho Stamper. Welcome. Happy you're back for some crafting fun. Welcome to new subscribers. I'm so glad that you are joining. I hope you find some inspiration and maybe some new techniques or designs. Yes, it's being one of those days. I had this video almost done the whole way to the end and ready to add my greeting on the front, and my camera quit again, not for the first time, and I hadn't even touched it, so I don't know why the cord on my camera is just being wonky. So welcome everyone, hope you're all doing well. I've added the June shopping code here, and these little critters are ladybug trinkets. Ladybug trinkets are going to be part of my thank you gift to my customers who spend $100 or more through my Stampin' Up! Online store. When you spend $50 in product, I'm going to thank you with 50 sheets of 6x6 different designer papers. Now there's all different kinds of patterns and designs. There's some foils, some of the specialty papers. There's some glitter paper, some Halloween papers. I did try to coordinate them, like the green. There's another green one in there that matches it or that coordinates with it. So then when you spend the $100, you're going to get the 6x6 papers as well as a package of ladybug trinkets, a full pack. This is my pack, and there's only a few left in here, but I do have full packs of them. I just got them. I don't know where they're at. They're somewhere here. Yep. So if you have any questions, make sure you just reach out there and give me a holler, and I'll answer if I can. And if not, I'll find out where the answer's at. So today, I'm going to make a card using a new stamp set from the Celebration catalog. Celebration begins July 1st in conjunction with the Holiday Mini Catalog. And if you are my customer, you should have received your mini catalog and Celebration. They were packaged together. If you didn't get them, give me a holler and I'll find out what's going on. So I can't show you the insides of those yet until July 1st. That's when you can begin ordering and earning your rewards in Celebration. Did I say June 1st earlier? I meant July 1st. Sorry. I don't know if I did or not. And so this is the card that we're going to make today. Now, some of the techniques that we use, we like to do some very simple stamping sometimes, and other times we try some new techniques. This is actually a rather easy card to make, but it takes a little bit of planning. Here's how far I was with the second one when the camera quit. And then I didn't have time to finish because I was getting ready to go to church, so I had to wait until I got back, and we had some dinner real quick, clean that up, and here I am again. That's okay. This one, I got this one cut out really fast, and because I'm getting pretty experienced at this now. The only thing was I had to fussy cut another flower, and I'm not fast at fussy cutting. What was I saying? Oh, the technique. Yeah. So, to get this background, I wanted to lay my flower image that I had fussy cut out on the front of my card, but when I lay it onto this back panel that we're going to stamp, it kind of blended in too much. So I wanted to put a panel behind it to make it more of a focal point. And I happen to think of one of my favorite things, the linen paper. And this is a specialty paper. It is almost a fabric. It is just white. It's got an adhesive back, so you peel off the release papers and then it will stick. My suggestion is that you adhere this to a piece of either basic white, or I put mine onto a piece of Orchid Oasis tonight because that's what color I'm using for my card base. But you could just adhere it to white and then cut it to your size, or die cut it, because we can die cut this. If you try to die cut or cut this and then layer it onto your card, especially if you alter it like I've always done with this stuff, it will make the paper be misshapen. And it's not always easy to get it to lay straight. And I had a problem with that when we used the little Songbirds stamp set, and I don't know if I still have that card. When I tried to adhere my panel on the front, it's crooked. I mean, it's cut straight, but when I layer it on there, it moves because it's like fabric. So here are some of the ones that I was playing with. I took some pieces. Unfortunately, when I went to make this third card, none of them were big enough for my die, so I had to hurry up and make another one. And I tried several techniques. I used the Orchid Oasis ink pad and just smushed it onto the linen paper and then spritzed it with some water, which is how it got like all this blue and purple. A disclaimer, the blue could have come from my scrap paper that it was laying on, because I think I had blue ink on there from earlier, so I don't know, maybe it picked that up. But I do know the one I have for right now was not on that blue paper, and when I spritzed it with water, I don't know if you can see, but there is some blue and purple in this ink color. It's very pretty. So anyways, I had this and I smushed my ink pad on there and spritzed it with a bunch of water, and my paper was really soaked. This is why I'm telling you this, so that you could play with your linen paper maybe a little bit ahead of time and get your paper ready, because it's going to have to dry. I thought it was too dark, so I spritzed it with water, and I took another piece of linen paper and I laid it on top and tried to absorb some of the ink, and that worked out really well. Actually, it was this one. That worked out really well. I got some kind of cool designs in there. And I thought this was still too dark. So I took a baby wipe and I wiped over top of it, and I have that wipe here. Actually, I kept it because my baby wipe came out pretty cool too. So that might be pretty when I'm doing something in my journals. But anyways, it picked up some of this ink and made some really pretty design in it. So I don't know if you can see them on the camera. The purple never looks purple when I'm looking on my computer, so I don't know if it's looking purple to you or not. Okay, so that was these ones. Then this one, I did my all-time favorite thing. I used my blending brush, and I just used Orchid Oasis and blended it. And I usually start pretty heavy in one corner and then lighten up on the way down to the other corner, so that I have a dark. If I'm going to do a night scene, I like it to be a little darker in like one corner. So I did that on both ends. I could probably use this now for 2 different cards. Was really happy with that, and that's why I ink blended for this last one for our video. This was the soft pastels. And I used the blue, and I don't remember what color blue this is. And I just ran it all over my linen paper, and then keep my little sample papers in there so I can, when I use those, I know what color I have. So after I ran it all over the linen paper, I took my towel that I keep here as a rag, and I just ran over it a little bit because I didn't know if it was going to come off or if it would stay in the linen. So I just ran the towel over it and made sure that that pastel wouldn't come off once it's adhered to a card. And it's kind of pretty. It made it sort of like a stormy sky in the background. I'm really happy with that one too. So I'm saving those pieces for other projects. And the one that I'm going to use for this project was just a piece of white linen paper that I used my blending brush and I brushed Orchid Oasis ink on it. Okay, that was all I did. I'm using seasonal label dies, one of my favorites, and I cut the largest scalloped for my back panel, and then the next size of a scallop down I cut out of Orchid Oasis so that I can layer it on here. And then I have this one because I think this is what I will need for my, oh, I already did it, yep. I cut out a happy birthday. I did congratulations on my first one, and I was going to do happy birthday on my second one and didn't get that far, so here it is. This is going to be my happy birthday. Happy birthday. Okay, so those are seasonal label dies. Handy dandy set to have. I'd play with those too and see. They make a little corner. I think. I don't remember. I have to look that up. I don't remember. There's a little die here that makes a strip, cuts out like a rectangle, and then there's those. Maybe it's to make like a closure. I don't remember. Oh, that's what happens when you get old. So, then, for the beautiful flower. This beautiful flower comes from Wonderful World. This stamp set is available during celebration for free when you spend $100. And the reason it's a $100 bonus instead of a $50 bonus is because you also get with it the coordinating designer series paper, which is beyond beautiful. This paper could be, I mean, this is one of those ones where you could cut a page out of this, adhere it to a front of a piece of cardstock, and call it a card. This is pretty stuff. And I took it out because I thought, you know, I'm going to just do a simple card and use my designer series paper. And then I don't know if it's because I didn't want to cut into it or what it was. Isn't it pretty? I just love it. But anyways, I decided to go with stamping on the linen. Look at this one. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, purple is my favorite color, so yeah. Pretty, pretty. There are not dies for this set. And I don't know if they'll come out with dies later, but right now there's not. That's why we had to fussy cut the flower. So let me put this pretty, pretty away. Keep it over here so it's not wrinkly. And we'll get started. I am using Orchid Oasis cardstock. This is half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock that I cut in half, then scored and folded so that we have a 4 1/4 by a 5.5 inch card base. Just our standard card base. Okay. Then I cut another panel at 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And on this panel, we're going to stamp some of those beautiful flowers. We're going to stamp tone on tone using the Orchid Oasis ink. So let me get my scrap paper under here because I'm going to stamp off the edge of my paper. I don't want it to look like this, where we just went straight across our paper, although that's kind of cute. I want it to be more random. And so I am going to turn my stamp in different directions on this panel. This paper is all warped because that's what I used when I was getting it wet. It gave me a hard time earlier. I was hoping it would behave this time. At this rate, I'm going to have to get the re-inker for sure of Orchid Oasis. I hadn't used this new in color very much. I'm getting a glare here. I can't see where I'm stamping. And See, I do cover up the center, so I don't have to worry about that so much. So I thought for tonight's card, or today's card, since this will be on Monday, I definitely was using the Orchid ink. Isn't that pretty? I love, love, love it. Yes, this is Saturday evening, like I said, for me. So happy Father's Day tomorrow to all those guys out there. And to all those ladies out there who sometimes have to be mom and dad. Kudos to you. So I wanted to be able to spend tomorrow with my hubby and the boys. So I wanted to get my card done tonight. So I don't have to, I think my youngest son and daughter-in-law are having Father's Day breakfast for both the dads. So we're going to go there in the morning. Oh, I should have kept that. Just a scrap paper out here to color on. And then my older son will come later. He's the one that lives a little bit further away. So he'll be here later and we're going to barbecue outside and make his little vegan stuff on the grill. Gross. I'm really happy making steaks for the hub. I don't have Stampin' Blends, the alcohol markers yet in the new in colors, and I don't know that there are markers for any of the in colors. So what I'm doing is I pushed some of the ink from my ink pad into the lid of my stamp pad, and I'm using a blender pen. Typically I would have colored this in and then fussy cut it, but because I didn't want to have to bore you to death with both of those tasks, because they're both like kind of watching paint dry, I already fussy cut this out. But I did want to show the blender pens again for anyone who may not be familiar with them. A blender pen has sort of a glycerin formula in it. I don't know the trade secret inside. I just know that it does spread the ink around on my images really nice. This is an easy image to color in. Each one of these flowers is just like three little points. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're just adding some color to the flower so that it coordinates with the rest of our card. Stampin' Up! Products are all made to coordinate perfectly between the ink and the paper. If you are using the blends or markers, each color from any one of those products is going to match that color in the other product. You're not going to have to worry about it being a different shade or having them not look pretty together, because they always do. They're beautiful. And I think I mentioned before, one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! And probably one of the features that drew me to their product is their cardstock. You know, when you have other cardstock and you cut it, it's got a white core. Stampin' Up's cardstock is colored the whole way through. So you don't have to worry about going back and coloring your edges if you don't want to have a white edge on your card panel. It's going to be the color of paper that you chose the whole way through. I love that. Makes me happy. I have a little fuzzy on this. Probably from when I cleaned it earlier. I wiped it off on that dry baby wipe. I might have got a little fuzz ball on there. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise anyways that the earlier video ended abruptly. I had, they are clearing a lot out back to Someone's building a house. And the chainsaws began at 9 o'clock this morning, and it's all quiet now, so maybe it was a good thing, huh? I meant to look up too what kind of flowers these are, because I think I have seen these. I think they begin. It might begin with a C. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look it up though, because I'm a flower person. I love flowers. Lots of wildflowers outside, and little perennial bed out front. Okay, see, that didn't take too long. And then I wipe off the end of my blender pen to get as much of that ink off of there as possible, because you use these time and time again. And next time, I might not want purple to be in there. Okay, and then there's my little flower. So I have my card base. I have my panel that we just stamped. I have my blended linen paper. Let's see which way it looks best. I guess like that. I have the other Orchid Oasis panel that we cut out. And I have my greeting that I've already stamped and die cut. I mean, how easy is this card? We just have to glue it together now. The only thing that took time was blending a background and coloring in my little flowers. Everything else was super simple. So let's add this to our card base. I lost my tape. Where did I put that? Oh, right there. Again, right in front of my face. See if I can do this without tearing my paper today. You know, I use this Stampin' Seal Plus, and I think it's because I'm using all that brute force in my arms there. That is a joke. But I always end up tearing the back of my paper, and I don't know why. So I'm going to center this on my card base. It gives me a nice little border around the outside. Make sure I'm on camera. And then let's glue our flower to this panel. I'm going to have this hang off the end a little bit on the top side and my little stem down here. So I'm going to be careful that I don't have glue sticking in an area that's going to hang off the edge. And then I'm going to adhere my linen paper to the card base. I used liquid glue. Mainly I used liquid glue on this one, or on my very first card, because I wasn't sure that linen paper was really dry all the way. I really did have it pretty sopping wet. I used my heat tool and dried it, and then laid it on my work table under a couple acrylic blocks just so that it would flatten it out again. And then of course when I stuck it to my cardstock, there was no problem. All right, now we can add this. I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. Pop it up a little. And it looks like my camera is still going. This is a good thing. I have no idea why it quit earlier. I couldn't believe it. And then I opened the video back up and I was thinking there's got to be a way just to add the ending to it. You know, I only had a couple more minutes to go. Well, if this stays going too, oh yeah, I have time. I will show you a couple of the other things that I got from the new holiday mini catalog. So if you're looking at that and trying to make up your mind what you want to order first, I'll show you a couple things that I did get. Now I'm going to line this up, excuse me, so that my scallops are pretty even with the larger die cut label behind it. Cool beans. Now I have my happy birthday that I can layer over the front. You could put it wherever you like. You could layer it down in the bottom if you want to. I actually had this one planned to layer it across the stems of my flowers. Now I have to be careful. My ends are going to hang off at the edge of here, but my center is going to be flat on this label. I think that my dimensionals are too big to put one on the end, but the mini ones might work. Where are the little babies? I don't know what that was from. There's some minis. I think I'll just put a small one at the end. I hope it fits over top of that label. It straddles it. Let's see. Oh, good, it will. That'll give it just a little bit more support there, so it doesn't wobble back and forth. We can add a little glue to the center part so that it will stick. And then we can add any kind of embellishments or bling or whatever you like. I do have some of the in color matte dots. I didn't put them on any of the other ones, but I may add a couple to this. Especially because this label is a little bit larger. When I did the congratulations, my label was smaller. So let's stick on, I like this color, the lighter ones. Well, that's pretty. Here we are. Easy peasy, right? Not hard at all. Just take a couple minutes ahead of time and play with your linen paper there, and that is still available in the 23 annual catalog, and so are the seasonal label dies. I did check that. But yeah, play with some of your products. What fun are they if you just set them in a box or put them away in a drawer? You know, that linen paper, when I first got it, I couldn't figure out what in the world I was going to do with it. And I have found that adding different inks, you know, whether it be with, what did I use? I used brushos or pigment sprinkles on them before. And I used, our one card that we did, we used our markers and flipped the ink from the inside of the cap onto the linen paper and then spritzed it with water, and it just exploded like little fireworks. It was really pretty. So play with some of your products and see. Not bad. I don't know why I have that piece of Merlot out. And see what colors you can come up with. The purple is just so pretty. Some of the other things that I did get. Oh, my greetings are from an old celebration set, sending you thoughts. You can add whatever greeting you want to your cards. I knew I wanted a couple birthday cards though. And so that was my seasonal label dies. This was my big suite that I got out of the new catalog. Y'all are going to like this one. Hello Harvest. I have a really cool stamp set with coordinating dies that do a little bit of design work in some pumpkins. This would match the image. This would match the flowers. So these are freebies. Those are, you know, your extra little dies there that maybe you would cut out. Oh, wouldn't that be pretty to cut out like in a copper foil and have those impressions go into the foil? That'd be nice. This is the designer series paper in this suite. Oh, I can't flip papers, can I? No, I'm not coordinated anymore. So cool autumn colors. Yeah. Oh, look at that. There's another one. If you cut that out and added just 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inch section to your cardstock base, you'd have a card. Of course, that takes away some of the fun of stamping, but sometimes you are in a hurry. I like this pumpkin paper. It also has 12 by 12 basic black cardstock with this suite. And some little elements. What are these? Leaf label and amber gem combo pack. Was that it out of that one? I think so. I already put some of the stuff up in my basket here so that I can use them. Some beautiful amber rhinestones. Oh, look at this. We could do, you know what we have to do? We'll have to make some alcohol ink using our re-inkers and put them in little spritz bottles. I'll show you how to do that one day. That'd be fun to either alcohol ink those or ink blend them with the brushes again. So that was one of the things that I got. And then, what else? Look at these kids. All bundled up. Aren't they cute? There are not dies for this either, but he's too cute. Hope and Peace. I did get some, these are window dies, and then realized later that there's another stamp set that goes with this, but I wanted the window dies because I had an idea of a card I want to do with the nativity set for Christmas. So I have to get the other stamp set to go with the dies now. That was sort of silly. And trees for sale. And then you can earn the dies, the coordinating dies, out of Celebration. And I used this set for my design team card. So I have to run down and type up the instructions for that yet. So those are the couple things that I got so far out of the, I think that was all I got. That and my Wonderful World stamp set in the papers. So thanks for being here. I hope that y'all have a wonderful week, and tune back in Friday. We're going to have some more paper crafting fun on Friday. Remember to like and share if you enjoy my videos and want to see more of them. You know, that helps me get some ratings there so that I can keep adding content and having it come up in your feed or you know, so that you can see I've posted a video. And let me know what you think about some of these new sets. What are you going to get out of the catalog first? Not everything. You can't get everything first. You have to pick. All right, guys. Have a wonderful week, and I will see y'all back here again very soon. Thanks. Bye.